The Ray-Ban Meta Gen 2s versus the Rokid AI Glasses Style. What are the differences? And which one is the best? Let's dive right into it. And what better way to start off this comparison than with what comes inside the box? Now, the Meta Gen 2s come in this leather-looking charging case in which you will find the frames itself. However, next to that, you will also find your quick start manual, the safety and warranty guide, and even a microfiber cloth in here to be able to clean your lenses. And it is also important to know that these glasses weigh in at about 51 grams while coming in 3 different designs with multiple color options for each of them respectively, but more on that later. Because on the other side, the Rokid AI Glasses Style also come with a case, but this one is just slightly different in design, since although it doesn't directly charge your frames, it is possible to fold them completely flat so that you can easily put them into your pocket. And on top of that, the frames also weigh in quite a bit less at only 38.5 grams in total. Now, besides the glasses and case, you will find an extra carrying pouch in here and a charging adapter that you can magnetically attach and connect to any USB-C cable. And of course, the use case of these AI glasses is that you can do things like listening to music and take photos and videos, or even use the built-in AI features to ask ChatGPT basically anything you want. But moving on, let's talk about some actual big hardware differences between them. And the first one can be seen when we look at the built-in cameras. Because while both frames have a 12 megapixel one and about 32 gigabytes of storage built in, the Rokids have the extra option to change the aspect of the images that you take from your standard portrait mode to either 3x4 or even 4x3. And that, while the Meta Gen 2s are sadly locked behind that vertical aspect ratio permanently. And on top of this, the Rokids can also record videos for up to 10 minutes at a time, while the Meta Gen 2s can only go up to a maximum of 3. However, when it comes to the recording quality though, the Ray-Ban Meta glasses do take the top spot here, because not only can they go up to 3K in resolution at 30 frames per second, or even just sticking at 1080p at 60 frames per second, Mark Zuckerberg also unlocked the possibility to make time lapses and slow-mo videos thanks to their latest updates. And that, while the Rokid AI Glasses Style are maxed out at 1080p with those same 60 frames per second. But the next important part of the hardware that we should definitely take a look at is of course the battery. And luckily both glasses rock the same battery capacity here that should last you up to 8 hours on a single charge. But with the extra is that the Ray-Ban Metas also have up to 48 hours of extra juice on the go thanks to that previously mentioned carrying case. But slowly moving on from the front, we get to the tech on the side of the frames. And here is where we can find some identical open-ear speakers and a 4 microphone array on the Rokids, while the Ray-Bans have 5 mics for a slightly clearer voice recording. But maybe the most important part of the hardware in general is none other than the lenses. Because here, the Rokid AI Glasses Style has a huge number of options to choose from that can really be personalized to your own needs. And that can go from including your standard blue light filters and UV protections, to even the addition of an anti-reflective coating and transition optics if you want to. But by far best of all, is that the prescription lenses that have a correction in them are a lot cheaper than the official Meta alternatives. So while the Ray-Ban Metas on the other hand also has a bunch of different options that can go from dark to green, or even some limited released versions, the overall choice here is much smaller. So in the case of the Meta Ray-Bans, it will probably be worth it to check out some third-party alternatives, such as the ones from VRWave, that don't just give you more color options and coatings to choose from, but that also come at nearly half the price of the official Meta ones. And honestly, these could also be a good choice if you have other smart glasses, such as the first generation or even the Meta Ray-Ban displays. And luckily though, for both of them, when you want to change these inserts, you will easily be able to switch them out, because all that you have to do is just pop out the old ones and snap the new optics into place. And with that, you will now finally have a proper correction in your lenses, while also saving a bunch of money at the same time. But next to the hardware, and maybe even more important, is none other than the software. And this is also where we can see some of the biggest differences in general. Because while the Ray-Ban Gen 2s have the Meta AI at its core, the Rokid AI Glasses Style use GPT-5 instead. And that gives the Rokids an overall big advantage when it comes to the features that these models are capable of. For example, when it comes to their live translation feature, the Ray-Ban Meta Gen 2s can do this with up to 15 languages, while the Rokids have a whopping total of 89 to choose from. And that is not even mentioning things like the navigation features of their public software development kit that compared to the Meta AI can actually navigate you wherever you want. So overall, the Rokid Style scores some big points here when it comes to the software side of these products. Now of course, besides the AI functionalities and taking photos and videos, you can also do a bunch of other things with these glasses, such as listening to music or picking up calls. And all of these inputs can be done by simply interacting with your fingers on the side of it. And that can go from either tapping to just swiping from left to right to change up the song, which is the same as you come to expect from all your other tech as well. But don't forget that you will need an application on your phone to make actual proper use of most of these features in the first place. Think about importing your photos and videos, or just to even change up your settings. And when it comes to these apps, there's not much to say beside it being straightforward and that new features every now and then can get added to them over time. So that makes it possible that in the future, you might be able to use your glasses in ways that weren't even possible before, once a new software version gets released. And looking a bit more into the details, both of the glasses have Bluetooth 5.3, while there's Wi-Fi 6 on the Ray-Bans and Wi-Fi 5 on the Rokids, meaning that your file transfer speed should also go quite nice and smoothly on both. And of course, their compatibility is with all your standard iOS and Android devices. So no matter what phone you have in your pocket, as long as it is not ancient, these will work with nearly all of them. However, we should also talk about the main elephant in the room, and that is the price. Now, the Meta Gen 2s start at $379 for the base model, but it can quickly go up all the way to $459 depending on the lenses and frame options that you choose from. And keep in mind that this is not even including prescriptions at all, meaning that your total end price can easily go upwards of $500 for a full set. Now, the Rokid styles, on the other hand, start at a significantly lower price of $299, with the transition optics with correction built into them, pushing it to the max of $398 in total. So that is quite a lot cheaper. And while from Meta's side, the Gen 2s are the successor from their previous generation of AI glasses, the Rokids also have quite a big brand strength behind them when you look at their lineup of AI and augmented reality glasses that they have made over the years. But that also gets us to the final conclusion. Now, both the Rokid AI Glasses Style as well as the Ray-Ban Meta Gen 2s are both some awesome AI smart glasses. But each of them has their own pros and cons, making one maybe a better fit over the other, depending on what you are looking for. Because while the Meta Gen 2s come with some better hardware specs, such as the possibility to record videos up to 3K, while also having a charging case included in the box, the Rokid AI Glasses Style, on the other hand, have the capability of taking videos that are much longer, up to 10 minutes, while also making use of ChatGPT instead of the Meta AI. And thanks to this, you can have a bunch of extra features, such as navigation and more language translation options, when you compare them to the limited capability here of the Ray-Ban Gen 2s. And of course, the main selling point is that the Rokids come in at a much lower price tag, making this easily a more budget-friendly option overall. So, in the end, if you don't own a pair of smart glasses yet, and you are just looking to get your first pair for a reasonable price, then the Rokid AI Glasses Style might be the best option for you. Either way, I will also leave the links as well as any nice discounts that are available for these glasses down in the description below. So don't forget to check those out before you buy them. But that is not all. Because if you want to see an even more detailed comparison between the Ray-Ban Meta Gen 2s and the original Ray-Ban Metas, then click on the video that you see on screen right now to make sure you don't miss out on that. And of course, stay awesome.